What's going on, everybody? Kevin Walsh back here, giving you my full 2016 NFL mock draft version number one. Obviously, right now, free agents going to their new team. Some people re-signing, so there's going to have to be a number. There's going to be a lot of versions of mock drafts that I do release leading up to April 28th when the official draft will happen. But this is version one. Wanted to get it out there, let you guys know what I'm thinking about it right now. Been doing a lot of coverage leading up to the draft, been doing a bunch of research, and this is how I see things shaking out right now. And also the way that free agency has gone so far, it's kind of helped cement some of these picks for me. And as we go through it, leave your comments. Make sure you let me know what you think down below. I definitely want a lot of feedback, but I want to know what you guys think. Who do you think that your team should be picking? Who do you think should be going one? Best quarterback, best running back, all of those things. Make sure you leave it down below in the comments to see the full mock draft. I'm going to make sure that I leave the link to my blog with the entire mock draft, pick 1 to 31. Obviously, no pick 32 because of the Patriots. Will be left in the description, so make sure you click that, head on over, and take a look at the full thing. Take a look at the blog. Tons of good stuff going on over there. How I'm going to do this, though, is by fives. Pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the next video, I'll do 6 through 10, and so on. That way, the videos don't get too long, and then you can, which ones to click on to see your team. So let's start it off. Pick number 1, the Tennessee Titans just got themselves DeMarco Murray. Now, when DeMarco was a free agent, and before he signed with Philly, the Titans were a team that were in discussion. Obviously, he decided to go to the Eagles, and it was clearly just not a good fit for DeMarco Murray. And the Eagles are clearly cutting all their ties with Chip Kelly, and not only just getting rid of Chip, but they've now made a number of moves that have gotten rid of all these players that Chip has brought in. So now you have DeMarco over in Tennessee, and you have your top running back and you have your top quarterback. Number 2 overall selection last season, Marcus Mariota, is obviously their guy. That's their franchise quarterback. And for the Tennessee Titans, protecting him is got to be priority number 1. Now, you do that by bringing DeMarco over because teams are not going to be able to just focus on the pass. They obviously now have to pay a lot of respect to the run game, and this will help Marcus Mariota greatly. The other thing, though, is you got to strengthen the offensive line. Mariota was hit far too often last season, and the best way to do that is by taking Laramie Tunsil, the best offensive line prospect in this draft, ready to come in and play left tackle day one, which puts Taylor Lewan over at right tackle. And in one piece, you strengthen 2 areas at left tackle and right tackle, and it makes that line so much better, which not only makes life easier for Marcus Mariota, but for DeMarco Murray. The decline in production from when he was in Dallas to when he's in Philadelphia obviously had a lot to do with the system and not being happy, but pay respect to that Dallas Cowboys offensive line. He clearly went to an offensive line that was not as dominant, and you want to give DeMarco Murray a dominant offensive line to make things easier on him. That's just what you want, and it makes all the sense in the world. There's not too many can't miss prospects here where the Titans would think about going defense. This is a very defensive draft, but we've seen the Joey Bosa fall and things like that, so there's no can't miss prospect. I can see the Titans trading back because if they did miss on Tunsil, they could still go Ronnie Stanley, who could still again start at left tackle, move Taylor Lewan to right tackle. Now Stanley maybe just a shade under Tunsil, so the Titans could trade back, but we're going to do this to where these teams are not doing any trades just yet. Titans, Laramie Tunsil. Now pick 2, the Cleveland Browns. Hugh Jackson in his first season, and he's going to be bringing in a quarterback. He's going to want his guy for him. I know the Browns have consistently struck out on quarterbacks. Things haven't worked. Most recently, the Johnny Manziel head case, or the headaches, I should say, for Cleveland. But when you really look at the team, it's a pretty stout defense. It's not the best defense by any stretch, but they have good pieces. I think if they do lose Gibson, their safety, that could be a mistake, but maybe just the money does not work out for them. But even you just look offensively. Isaiah Crowell, no, he's not a top 10 back in this league, but he does have some good games. And if you can pair him maybe with more of a speedier guy, or you do a 1-2 punch in Cleveland, that could make the running game a bit more effective. And you look at the receiving weapons. Gary Barnidge last year, 9 touchdowns, had a great season, came out of nowhere, but I expect that from Barnidge moving forward. This seems like the type of guy he is. He's a big-time tight end. And barring any crazy situation, Josh Gordon comes back. And Josh Gordon is legit. Josh Gordon went on that field as one of the best receivers in the NFL. That him leading the league in receiving yards that season, I believe that was 2013, I want to say. Could be 2014. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was 2013, though. That was no fluke. Josh Gordon is legit. But you got to get a quarterback to get these guys the ball, and I think it's going to be Carson Wentz. He's my number one quarterback in this draft class, and I know people are going to say, well, he played in the FCS, that he just has not played against that top competition. But understand that whenever an FCS quarterback is being mentioned in the first round, there is really good reason behind it. There's been 4 FCS quarterbacks taken in round 1. Now, the first guy was obviously, he wasn't someone as big, but the other 3, Phil Simms, Steve McNair, Joe Flacco, those are all guys with really good NFL careers. So Carson Wentz, he steps into that mold. There is a reason you're talking about a guy who's in the FCS. That means that he has what it takes. His combine was phenomenal, made all the throws, showed good footwork, and I'm not saying he's Andrew Luck, but he has a similar build and similar athletic traits, and obviously with Pep Hamilton over there now, it could work for Pep quite easily. So I think Carson Wentz makes a lot of sense, and I think that the Browns might finally have their guy at QB. Now, pick 3, the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers are a really interesting team here, and I think that they're going to be someone who really helps shape out the rest of the draft. They have there's a bunch of needs for them, and it's really you can't be certain where they will go. For me, I think it's got to be Jalen Ramsey. You're losing Eric Weddle in free agency. And obviously he's not coming back. It's kind of an ugly breakup between the two. And you don't want to find out how important Eric Weddle is by being in the 2016 season and saying, wow, I really wish we had Eric Weddle. Because Eric Weddle is a very good safety. You can do that by getting Jalen Ramsey. And the beautiful thing about Ramsey is he doesn't even have to play safety. If he plays corner, he will still have such a good impact. He is the best secondary player in this class. But not only that, for me, for my money right now, Jalen Ramsey is my best player in this draft. If you look at what he did at the combine, the athletic testing, to match up with the playmaking ability and just the pure coverage skills, ability to come up and find the ball, Jalen Ramsey is one of the best is the best prospect for me in this class. I've seen mock drafts, people have him going 1. Now again, I still think the Titans have to go offensive line, but that just shows you how good Jalen Ramsey is. Now the Chargers could also be going offensive line, they could be going defensive line, but I think that Ramsey has to be the pick for the Chargers. Now pick 4. The Dallas Cowboys. No one thought that this team was going to be picking in the top 5. A lot of people saw NFC Championship, at least Super Bowl, all these things. Dez Bryant gets hurt, then Tony Romo gets hurt, and then Joseph Randle gets hurt, gets cut. Lance Dunbar got hurt. Also, you got Darren McFadden in there, Matt Castle, Brandon Whedon, just absolutely nothing working. Romo comes back. We can do it. After they beat the Dolphins, the Panthers knock him out the rest of the season. A really, really tough season for Dallas Cowboy fans. But now Romo's back, and you got to think that with some moves in free agency and this number 4 overall pick, they should be the favorites in the NFC East. The question is, where do they go? A lot of people like the idea of picking the heir apparent to Tony Romo. Get your backup guy who will take over, the Aaron Rodgers. I think people need to understand that, yes, Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Brett Favre probably helped him and was a bit of the reason why he was so good right away. But Aaron Rodgers would be what he is right now if he started day 1. Aaron Rodgers is just that good. It's really obvious when you just watch him play the game. One of, if not the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. you can't guarantee that by taking Jared Goff or Paxton Lynch, or if somehow Wentz fell or if the Cowboys traded up, that they're going to be Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't just work that way. If it did, then all of these teams would. Then the Chargers would be going for a quarterback from when Phillip Rivers retires, and then you would have the Falcons getting their replacement for Matt Ryan. That's just not how it works. So, with that being said, I take quarterback out of the question. For me, I think defense has to kind of be addressed for them, and I think defensive end Joey Bosa is the pick. A couple of reasons. Now, one is it fills a need. Greg Hardy gone, Randy Gregory suspended for the first 4 games, and they need help on the defensive line. And Joey Bosa for a while was considered the best prospect. Obviously, things have led to him coming down and being moved down rankings. I've seen him fall not out of the top 10, but at pick 9. So people not as high on Joey Bosa. The thing is, though, he's the most popular player in this draft. He's clearly someone that's going to make a lot of noise, and I can't imagine that Jerry Jones is not falling in love with this guy. For him to be able to make this pick and bring Bosa to the Cowboys, I feel like Cowboys fans would get behind it so much, and I feel like for that reason, Jerry Jones is going to make this pick. I think Joey Bosa becomes a Cowboy. Pick 5, rounding out the top 5, Jacksonville Jaguars just got themselves Malik Jackson today. Look at the Jaguars. At one time, a laughing stock, but that is going to soon be in the past. Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns paired with Blake Bortles, the rookie, going to be a sophomore now, TJ Yeldon. They have all the young, improving pieces on offense, and now defense is where they're going to have to figure it out. Dante Fowler comes back, last year's number 3 overall pick, the outside linebacker. Tevin Smith, who is also an outside linebacker, will continue to improve because he was great for them last season. And they just get Malik Jackson as far now to play D-tackle for them. And before the Malik Jackson signing, I had DeForest Buckner being the pick. After the Malik Jackson signing, I still have DeForest Buckner being the pick. Jackson comes from the Broncos, and the Broncos showed us something in the playoffs. You can never have enough good defensive linemen. The attack of DeMarcus Ware and Malik Jackson and Von Miller coming at you is just it was a deadly combination. Now, I'm not saying that DeForest Buckner is Von Miller or that Dante Fowler is Von Miller. No. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is that you can't go wrong with DeForest Buckner. He can play defensive. He can play D-tackle and can play DN. So versatile. Similar to Malik Jackson in that respect. Malik Jackson's played all over the defensive line. DeForest Buckner can do the same. And creating pressure is what you're going to want to do if you're the Jaguars. You look at the quarterbacks in the division. You have Andrew Luck and you have Marcus Mariota. And you're going to want to create a lot of pressure on them because those are guys that, unfortunately, they have injury history. So the more you hit those guys, the less likely they are to finish out the season. And when you think over in Houston, there's a lot of talks about them getting RG3. The Jaguars might be in the most injury-prone quarterback division. With that being said, when you just think about those guys, again, not wishing it on anyone, but if you can create pressure and put hits on those quarterbacks, that is really great for the Jaguars. And DeForest Buckner is one of the most promising talents. Stands 6'7", a massive defensive lineman, and can make an impact day one for the Jaguars. And I would really like that pick for them. That is the top 5. That's the end of this video. Comment down below. What do you think about that top 5? Who's your number 1 pick? Who's your number 1 player? Carson Wentz as the pick for the Browns. Leave all those comments down below. Don't forget to check out the blog. Coming back with 6 through 10.